that kind of like testing your body and balance thing that you do with your friends, or like in competitive sports, or just in your friends in the neighborhood, or your brother or sister or whoever, when you're just like, I bet you can't do this for 10 seconds, right? Honestly, if we continued that all through our lives, we would be, I think that would be immensely like helpful for our wellness and our like health and physical beings. So I'll challenge you guys to like some handstand somersaults.
We're going to get to, eventually someday we'll be on our hands. And
well, hello. You're listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast, where we uncover inspiring things about our community through the stories of inspiring people who call it home. I am Dee Harrell, and this is the creator of Oh My Omaha, the blog, and the blogosphere's friendliest face herself, Kim Reiner.
hi there.
Hey, Kim.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Just kind of manic mode, just trying to get through the end of the week.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. I think I've hit the manic. I was in recovery for some time. We landed our planes were like delayed on Sunday. We were already coming in late anyways. We were supposed to come in at like 11:30 and we came in at like 2-ish. Ugh. It was lovely.
Concerts were good though? Or?
Oh, yeah. It was a great time. It was, it was great. It's funny because like the community is so awesome. Like it's just such a strange, they're so welcoming and loving, and
this is Goose Band,
it was
right?
Goose, yeah. So it was Goosemas, which is 2 nights, and the way they did it, so they do themes. Like last year, it was like this whole space theme kind of thing, and they launched the theme, like they give teasers like a couple months before Goosemas, and this year they said it was bingo, and it was like 1975. So the whole premise was like time traveling back to 1975 and doing it in a bingo format. So like they had all of these songs, this massive bingo wheel in the back of the stage, and on like these big ball, like those big plastic balls that you get at like Target or Walmart or whatever. Yeah. So they had names of songs written on the balls, and so it was set list, random set list. They had no idea. They knew what songs were in there. But yeah, it was so much fun. And then when they picked the ball, said the song, then the guy would throw it, like the MC guy would, or host guy would throw it out into the crowd. We went very heavy on the 1975 get-ups.
Yeah, pictures.
I'll give you some pictures. But it was so much fun. It was,
cool.
Yeah, it was in Charleston. I mean,
that's a nice getaway.
Yeah, it's funny because I lived so long in the South. I went to school there and then was there for after school, and we landed, and I was like, that's strange. Like, it wasn't nostalgia. Like, I wasn't brought back to like a specific memory, but the smell of like the South, like when I walked I don't know if it was a Spanish, there's something that was so comforting and familiar, but like it's just a strange moment of like, oh, I know this. Like, I don't know, it was just heavy nostalgic smell, sensory experience. I don't know, it was but that was my weekend.
So this week was interesting. So for me, my highlight of the week, so at our gym, like we have different things that we're trying to, improve upon. And on Wednesdays this month, we've been working on supposedly handstands, but like
supposedly.
So like Kevin and I are not handstand or headstand people.
I mean, I'm not going to judge.
Haven't done it in about like 35 years or anything. So just at the beginning of the month, just kind of working on just trying to kick my legs up. And finally I did a headstand. I didn't do a handstand, but like yesterday was
like free, or do you go up against a wall?
Up against a wall.
Oh my gosh.
not
that is
stable
so
enough
fun.
To do. Yeah, so it's just
that is exciting.
Highlight. I feel like a kid. I just did a headstand, so
that's awesome. And you know what? You're so right. It's so funny about that, because it's like those, like when I do yoga and there's like, I'm like, what? There's no way. How can you do that? Right? Like, it's just like a matter of like working towards it. But yeah, it is very kid-like.
Yeah, it was at the beginning of the month. We're just like, okay, we're not even doing headstands.
Yeah.
Like, we just like lay our head down and try to like kick our flail a leg up. And
Love
like,
it.
this is just ridiculous looking. I look forward to Wednesdays.
Oh my gosh. You know what? You brought up something really interesting though. Like we think about like as we get older, the things like we lose. That kind of like testing your body and balance thing that you do with your friends or like in competitive sports or just in your friends in the neighborhood or your brother or sister or whoever, when you're just like, I bet you can't do this for 10 seconds, right? Honestly, if we continued that all through our lives, we would be, I think that would be immensely like helpful for our wellness and our like health and physical beings. So I'll challenge you guys to like some handstand somersaults.
We're going to get to, eventually someday we'll be in hands. And
we did. We went in the summer when we went kayaking and docked off like on like the beach or whatever, where I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to totally do all the gymnastic things I did. Like, I'm sure I could still do a handspring. So then I went and did it and I was like, yeah, and then I'm sure I could still do this. And I was so sore. Like the next day, it's like just because my muscles have the memory to do it, there's like really, what are you doing? Just because you can does not mean you always should. Yeah. Man, that was difficult. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did Kevin?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's just gonna have to catch up.
On it. Yep.
Yeah, it is hard.
It is.
You're going up against gravity.
Like, oh, wait a minute, I'm an adult now. Holding up my body on my head. No.
That's awesome. They should do like things like that.
Playground games or something. Where
but like silent disco almost. So like, because it takes the pressure. Like if you feel like no one's watching you or what else, maybe people were more apt to try that. Well, that was
it. No one, because usually they like Kevin and Ray would just be standing around while we like take turns trying to do it.
Yeah.
So I could never get my feet up. And then they were off somewhere else on the other side of the gym, and I did it. And I'm like, "Hey guys, look!"
Yeah,
like, I felt like a little kid. Like, look at me, you guys.
It's the truth, though. You had your space. You got to like fail as much as you could, and then you did it. That's awesome. So, I love that. That's a great highlight for the week.
Yes.
What does the rest of the week look like?
Finishing finals for the kiddo. Like, Henry's. I know. I'm like, hey, welcome to being a teenager. You got this for the next 8 years, pretty much.
Gosh, finals.
Yeah. So it was a learning thing for him on like, studying.
Yeah.
Really studying the whole semester. And then first family Christmas is this weekend. And then
good night. Yeah, we're packing it in the 2 weeks. It's a lot. And like, I'm not close to being done with my Christmas shopping or Christmas gift giving things. But so next week's like the next few days are gonna be quite a push. I've been working. I've had a lot of shoots and stuff. So, but now I'm like, I legitimately today was like, wrapping a present. I'm like, I have a lot to get, but I'm
down to just 2 gifts left. Like the hard shop for people who just don't want anything or don't need anything.
Yeah,
just figuring them out.
See, and I think there's a problem for a lot of like creatives. I'm sure other people can relate to this. It's just like, I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to make it. And then you start making it and then you run out of time, but you're like, no, I'm going to make it. And then like, it's such a pressure thing. Like, I'm like,
not enjoyable.
Why don't I just purchase? Like, it's such a weird hiccup. Like, I don't need to buy it. I can make it. Like, it's just, no. I want that to end. I want to be able to, like a voice tell me to knock it off. You're not going to get it done. But I have 3 things that I'm working on to be done in a week.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Oh my God, it's a week. Yeah, today's 18th? 18th.
Yeah, less than a week.
19th. 18th.
18th. No,
19th. Way to go.
Yeah, see,
we're so good.
The end of December, like this is where we're at.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. So like people can see, we don't have any guests today. It's just you and I.
Yes.
And we're going to kind of just reflect.
It's been cool having a podcast. Like I didn't know how I would do with the whole speaking thing.
Yeah. You do great.
And it's been, so we've been doing this, what now? So kind of started in March. So 9 months.
Can't do math. 9 months. Yeah.
9 months.
Wow.
A lot of episodes.
Yeah.
It was good.
It is good. It's funny. Yeah. So what are some of the main things that you've learned since we've started this?
Well, so like I wish I had started from the very beginning. We ask everybody like, where do you find inspiration?
Mm-hmm.
And you and I talked about like having like a either a video recap of all the answers or something. So I started kind of gathering, like, I don't know if it'll be a video, but I was going to gather everybody's answers for the year. And I wish I'd done that earlier because there's like
A lot.
30 some guests.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk later. You let me know where you're at. Maybe I can pick up where you left off.
Right. So it's just,
I think that's awesome. Yeah.
And it's been good. Like, so it's good to review everybody that's been on the show, and we've had such a variety, and their inspiration has all been pretty unique answers. Like, I really like it.
I do too. And like so unique, like, and there hasn't really been a very, like, a repeated answer.
No. A lot of outdoor people. I think a lot of people find stuff, but in different parts of the city. And
in different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did see our wrap up on Spotify, and I sent a screenshot of the best episode or the most watched episode by far to Annie. And she was like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, look how it's the number one. It was the number one, and it was the number one." So I think that was really fun.
Yep. It's cool to see.
Yeah, one of the things that early on when we would first meet and we would like start talking about what we're going to talk about and stuff, I loved that because I was able to, kind of get a grip on like who our guest was. But then when we were like, let's just do like listen and have conversations, right? And I think the main thing I learned from that was that I really love listening to people's stories, and I love hearing their journeys, and it constantly just sparks like so many things in my neurodiverse brain, right? That it inspires so much to bring to the next thing. And I think I've really honed in on my listening skills because of our podcast. Not that I'm not a good listener, just I'm a better listener to hear kind of the nuances of what people say and try to think of what I want to ask. I'm not thinking of what I'm asking like during. It's a natural progression, right? Like, and I think that's helped that non-planning, or no expectations.
Yes, I think it's helped me let go a little bit of like because just always felt anxious the night before. I'm like, I don't know what we're going to talk about. Like, and so it always helped me at the beginning that we could sit down and like kind of plan a progression, but then just start to get comfortable with the process of just talking to somebody that kind of I can do that now.
Yeah.
Like I have an idea of what things that I want to talk about, and I know that you'll come to the table with other things, and then just whatever our guest brings up.
It's so fun.
You can't really plan it too much. So
I think another thing that I've learned through this process is how interconnected we all are. And we talk about Omaha being like a small, big, or small, what is it? Like big, small town in a big city or something like that.
Yeah.
What's that saying? Whatever reason, cannot think of whatever. But people say it. And I feel it every day. It's like 1 degree of separation, and it still is, even with some of the guests that I didn't know. It's funny to see just how connected everybody is, because there's no doubt that like everybody here knows somebody in our in a circle, right? And I think that's a really cool thing about Omaha. It says a lot. It says, it's big enough where we have guests that we don't know, right? And want to know and want to like share who these people are with everybody. But at the same time, it's like once we talk to them, we realize that there's so many things in common. We've been to so many of the same things. We've been on the same boards and didn't know
the same things. Yeah, right. Like some of our favorite places.
It's just really cool. I think it's a unique thing to not it's a big city, and I don't think I think it's unique to us and maybe another city, but it's just I don't know. I'm kind of rambling on that, but I really love that.
And you always seem to have like I love it when you come into the room like I know you from somewhere.
Yeah. I was like, did I do your makeup?
Yeah.
Did we run together? What is it? Yeah, I'm glad you love that. Eli really hates that. I'm just kidding. He doesn't really hate it, but it's just like, inevitably there's a conversation of, how do I know you? But
what reminds me is, so like finally, our guest, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name, from Luminarium. Amanda, yes. Finally, so she had mentioned, so this was, I don't know, 6 months ago.
Yeah.
She had mentioned the Cafe Monster.
Yes.
That I should take my kids. And we finally went this past week because my daughter wanted to pick out a gift for a cousin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, we just go to this cafe like after school. It's not too far away, and it's a nice place.
Oh, I love that you went.
Coffee shop and tons of what they were looking for, Pokemon.
Cool.
And D&D stuff, and it's a cute place, and
I love that.
It is cozier. I think. I mean, not to put down like Krypton Comics or whatever, but it's more of a, I don't know. It does feel like a dude's place, and this is
like a more intimate.
Yeah. You want to linger.
I get it.
So
that's cool.
Yeah. All from our guests. So.
I know. I that's another thing too. When we're thinking about doing the wrap up of everyone's, what did they find inspiring? Sometimes at some point I want to go through and like compile all of the recommendations that people have said, because there's so many that you're just like, oh, I had no idea about this, that, or the other, right? And I still have like dog-eared pages in my planner of places I'm like, I have to go because so-and-so said, and I think that's the coolest part too, particularly because we go to a lot of places and do a lot of things, and again, having places that we've never heard of or never gone to is just exciting.
And I think that's kind of like a goal of the show, was to like see how Omaha is experienced by other people and what we can easily miss or overlook.
Yeah.
And it helps to have somebody else just talk about it.
Love it.
And what makes them excited about Omaha. So.
Yeah. We went to the Hot Shops a couple weeks ago, and Jeannie has the studio there, and she had set up, which was really cool. Everybody was raving about that she did this, is that she had a Santa in her studio. So anybody who came up there, they could have a really cool picture with Santa, because it's a really cool setup, right? And have a picture with Santa and pay. I was minimal fee, whatever. And she emailed the digital print to you, and everyone's like, "We've never had that."
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
This was during the open house.
It was during the open house.
I've never seen something like that.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was really fun. It was really fun to see her. So that her studio is so cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been to Hot Shops.
Yeah, you should go. It was great. Yeah. It was packed. It was so packed. There's so many, like, it was hot because they were firing up, doing demonstrations of glass blowing and whatnot, and they were putting glass ornaments outside on the tree. But there was a ton of people. But it was really fun, and it's really fun. I've gone to Hot Shops a gajillion times, and one thing I did note this time going was that there was like the thing I love about Hot Shops is that it's just an artisan, like, flocking of artisans and in different just different genres or materials or media, and there's some woman I talked to who was lovely and described how she does her art's all repurposed from clothing and primarily zippers. And she will make these little sculptures and pins and brooches and jewelry out of old zippers that she pulls. And I was like, you're just like, cool, right? Right. But there's just all of these things. There was that one 3D printing studio where he does eyeglasses, like custom eye frames that are digitally printed. And the variety of artists there, and also the size. Like there was a young guy that did like Fimo, like the bake at home clay. Like we used to make.
Yeah, okay.
I used to.
Sure.
I still make flower beads out of and put it on my hemp cord. But there's an artist there that specializes just in that. Like, I walked into one place and I was like, I feel like this is my studio. Like, I'm looking around, this is like my art. Where is this, like, who is this person? Right. But it was just really cool to see that in the different ages. I just haven't taken note of it before.
Right.
Every time I went, I would go to see friends, and it's not like I was. I think that what the podcast has done, it's made me a lot more observant when I do go to places, because I'm like making notes and I'm taking it in and interesting things that I'd want to talk about, which, I mean, I just never did it like that before. Right. It was really cool. Sweet. Yeah, highly recommend.
Okay.
Yeah, should go.
New stuff, or at least new to me stuff.
New to you stuff, yes. Because it was new, honestly, to find something new at the hot shops was like awesome, because it's not that it's not a good time, it's just, I was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. I didn't even, and I've walked the whole thing before, but this time I was like, wow, there's so many spaces. Like, it's like, it was almost like a whole new experience.
Cool.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it. What do you have? Are you doing anything special to celebrate or wrap up the new year, or this year going into the next year? Oh,
nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
I mean, trying to figure out what to do with the kids for 2 weeks, because sometimes I try to plan some sort of trip over the break, and I don't have anything really that much planned, so it's just trying to occupy the kids. So Charlotte and her bestie are determined to do like a Harry Potter marathon.
Dig.
At our house, and I'm like, well, it's not one day, Charlotte. Like, that's
a weekend.
Like, we have to spread this out. That's a lot of. Those movies aren't short to begin with, and watch all of them.
I've done it in a pandemic. Parker and I would do like series, like an entire day. Like, I think we did the Marvel series in the order in which it should go over like 3 days. Because like, what do you like when it was the pandemic and we're all like quarantined? It was just like, well, we don't need to go to sleep. Let's just keep watching what else. But that sounds like, I love that kind of stuff.
So that's part of our plan, I guess.
Dig.
And I'm on snack duty for that.
Ooh. So. Are you going to do themed?
We should.
Yeah.
Originally, I think like a month or two ago, she was talking about wanting to do a Harry Potter cooking night sort of thing. Like, one of her friends had a cookbook, and I'm like, so what happened to that?
Yeah, Aurora's a massive Harry Potter fan, and she has the Harry Potter cookbook. Mm-hmm. I'm like, we should make butterbeer for her. It's not alcoholic, right? I think it's
just ginger, and I don't like it.
I've never had it. I don't think I can.
We went to Universal Studios, and the Harry Potter world is amazing, and we're like, okay, we gotta try the butterbeer. And it's just like, I don't like butterbeer.
I know,
it was expensive to learn.
Right, and something tells me like, I think it would, like, again, I cannot consume it, but to me, I think it would be like butterscotch.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Pretty much, yeah.
You said you just said ginger, and I was like,
ginger butterscotch is a weird. And I think there's probably different recipes, but it's just not my thing. But
yeah, interesting.
I try it. I did. You know what? I had checked out a book from the library, and my grand idea was that it was on like literary celebrations, like themed literary meals for holidays, and so they had stuff for Christmas from like books that celebrate like. Mention it, like Little Women and Narnia, and it was like kind of a menu. And my plan was like, all right, you guys pick one and we'll do it.
Yeah.
And my family's not
not
buying into it. And there's like some menus for New Year's Eve, and I was like, this would be fun. Maybe we could watch the movie based on the book, or like read an excerpt or something. But only I was.
You're like, one okay. That was like, you guys are readers. What about if you switch it without them like? Kind of trick them into doing it and do it in like movies instead of.
Well, yeah. So I was like, we can watch the movie based on the book,
But no, take the book out of it.
Don't even mention the book.
Yeah, maybe the book is the thing. Movie. Like, But if there's like, well, you just said something, and I was like, ooh, like you could do like almost like progressives. Like you take Clue, and you take Goonies. I have no idea why I'm pulling these out, but like the different culinary things that are mentioned in the movies, and make something along.
See, that'd be fun.
That would be really fun.
I thought that would be like, especially like on this long holiday break, where we're like, oh well, let's learn how to make this. And, maybe I'll bring it up, make it movie. Make it movie centric.
Make a movie. Don't talk about the books because they're just like, she's wanting us to read.
No, I'm like, yes, it'll be fun. So we'll see. I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, we could do makeup tutorials too during the break.
All right. Yep. So that's her interest now.
Yeah, honestly, when you said it, I was like, I love it. I've done it so many times in the past when my kids, mostly when my kids are little, because like parents would ask me when we were like all the kids were getting together and stuff, and they found out what I did, and they would hire me to do this, and I love it. It really, I wish that they had things like that for, not that I wore a lot of makeup when I was younger, but it's nice to be equipped with that kind of knowledge when you go to try to do it, right? And yeah, I love doing that.
Because like I never, when I was in like middle school and high school, I just wasn't that much into makeup, and I still am not. I'm like, I can't really teach you, but I imagine that if I were into makeup when I was a kid, it would be ridiculous. I'd be like, oh, this bright color is going to look great. Yeah, drop my eyes or whatever.
Yes,
and I could see Charlotte doing that too.
Oh, I can't wait to teach Charlotte
any kind of.
Actually, I should give her some makeup. Some of my I have to clean out my inventory, and it's funny because I love makeup and I love doing makeup, but I don't heavily make up myself. I do it. You know, I feel like I have to do it. It's something I do for a living. I want to show that I'm competent in doing what I do for a living. But yeah, when I was younger, it was they came out with that clear mascara. Yeah. I think
I did that too.
Oh my gosh, I have to curl my eyelashes because they're dead straight, so I have to curl them. And I figured out a way to keep the curl with that clear mascara, like because I was an athlete and I was like, I don't want to get all that stuff, but. I curled my eyelashes, and I wore the exact same lipstick all the way through high school. And I say lipstick, it was a lip liner because they couldn't match the whatever. And it was Toast of New York by Revlon. And I wore dewberry and strawberry oil perfume from the Body Shop. It was really complicated in my cosmetics back then. But when I got fancy, I did color mascara. And they used to have tons of colors. They have some colors now, but when we were younger, they had like turquoise and bright pink that would stay. Probably not good for your eyes. Like they probably can't make them again now because it's not FDA approved. But I loved it. I would just show up and I would have nothing else, like just lip gloss or something. But I'd have like massive purple eyelashes or blue. Like I can see Charlotte doing something like that. It's just so fun. Yeah. Well, she's just like Janae. And Janae was showing, she's like, I did this years ago. And she did like the little sparkle freckles. And now they have like a brand where you put it on like a temporary tattoo. It's like a sheet. Oh. And it disperses these perfectly placed glitter freckles all over your face. So
yeah, she'd do that, I bet.
Yeah. That's good for New Year's.
Right.
I mean, the thing I don't like about those glitter, sparkle, bedazzle things, I love doing it for like occasions. I've done it for like festivals or New Year's or something, is that inevitably it's good, like it's going to show up. Like there's going to be a rogue one that shows up 2 months or 6 months later. Just like, away. No, they don't. And I'm glitter averse. I'm just talking like even stickers, even those like pimple stickers, you think you get them in the garbage. And then, like, 2 weeks later, it's, like, stuck to your pants or something. I don't, like, anyways, going off topic.
That's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, we are 2 weeks. Yeah, we're you know, when the kids were young, it was nice because you just had, like, 1 or 2 places, you know, and you were all together. And now it's scheduling. When is your Christmas? When are you celebrating with their family? You know, whatevs. But I was being a little stickler about it, and I was like, no. Like, my children are going to spend the night with me, like Christmas Eve, every Christmas Eve. Like, you're spending the night because we do the pajama thing still. We've veered a bit. My mother still, she wants us all to have matching, but we live everywhere. Like they're in Toronto and my brother's in Portland, my sister's in Missouri. And so like, we will just get matching for our families. And I was like, okay, like let's get matching, but let's get like things we can still wear. So we have like matching sweatshirts and then matching bottoms. Like I'm like, what am I going to do with all these matching pajama sets? Like I don't, but,
we do pajamas too, but just not matching.
Yeah.
It's just according to taste and.
Yeah. But we still match, but I'm like, so trying to force my 20-somethings that they have to spend Christmas Eve with me. Like, I'm just not, it's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Yeah, it's non-negotiable. If you're in town. And, like, you know, you don't have any massive responsibilities. Right? Like, if it was valid, fine, maybe we can talk about you not being with me on Christmas Eve. But, no, but so the kids are coming over Christmas Eve, and we get Aurora for a day. She's going on a trip. But we are going to then go to Missouri to see my sister, and then we're going to go to Kansas to see his family, and then we're done. Like it's.
I didn't tell you. So I drove. When we were in Kansas City, Kansas, and we went out to Bonner Springs. We drove by.
Oh, you went to Bonner? Yeah, you drove by Tonganoxie.
Tonganoxie, and I'm like, hey, I know that place.
Awesome, right? It's like it is a really cute little place.
Yeah. We didn't go in, so we were going to Bonner Springs for the Moon Marble Company. Have you ever been in there?
No, tell me
cool.
more.
So they
Moon Marble Company.
Okay. And they do marble making demonstrations doing it. So like the guy that works there has been into marbles for like decades.
Yeah.
And so it's just an ongoing, like you have to check the schedule, see when he's doing it. And so you can sit there and watch him melt the glass and then how he describes how he does it and just forms amazing little marbles.
So
and
cool.
He just kind of shows us his little creations, and he's just so into it. And when we were there, I think one of his friends had stopped by, and I don't know if he's a frequent visitor or not, but like it was just kind of cute to see these two older guys just being friends, and like he's like fixing his suspenders, and it's just kind of cute.
Gosh.
And so it's just like I didn't think I'd be so into watching this marble making process.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you're making a marble, and it's just kind of like, wow.
Oh, it's so cool. It's like it's like lava lamps.
Yeah, and it just
and then they stop. They freeze them.
Adding,
it's beautiful.
Yep, he just keeps adding the glass, and he's just showing how it turns out, and then he just puts it in the little kiln thingy, and then the shop itself is kind of a mix of nostalgic toys and modern toys and a bunch of marbles, obviously.
So
and
cool.
It's just like I didn't think the family would be that into it. Like I thought Henry was going to stay back at the hotel just to study and everything.
Yeah.
And I said, well, do you want to come? We're going to watch marble making demonstration.
Awesome.
Sounds like something I'd come up
with. But they loved it?
And it was. Yeah, we just sat there and watched it. And then, because we got there early and then people showed up later, so we started another demonstration. So we're like, we'll just watch a little bit more.
Did you buy some marbles?
No, not really. I bought a missing game piece that was made out of glass.
Oh.
That, is it Mancala? I don't know how to pronounce it, but
yeah.
Mancala.
Mm-hmm.
So we were missing one.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, sweet.
I love that you use game pieces. And we grew up playing it, and we would just use dried beans.
Okay, so we had like a dog food as a replacement. And I'm like, why don't we just buy this glass?
Oh, matches? I love Mancala. Now that you say that, we use dried beans. A friend of mine would use buttons.
There you go.
Like, why we all have, for whatever reason, the random bag of buttons, right? Like, do you have a random bag of buttons?
I don't.
What?
I'm not useful in that way of like sewing up things, and if it's missing a button, it's like, sorry.
Oh my gosh, I think I actually inherited a bag of buttons from like my mom, and then I have my own. Like I have so many random buttons. Right. But there you go. You use it for Mancala because,
right.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, we've only lost one piece, surprisingly. So.
That's amazing. Yeah. But Moon Marble in Bonner.
Yes.
Next time you go to Tonganoxie, their library, this big mural on the library, or is it a library? It's like these big books. It's not the library. Oh, I'm going to get this wrong. Maybe it's the old library, but there's like this massive mural of like books and like things about Tonganoxie. Like it's really, it's a really cool thing. They've got really small little shops and dine. We always go to this one diner when we go. And remember I told you about like my favorite bar, and that was there. So I've gone to tons of establishments across the continent, and the first time I went to Tonganoxie, he brought me to this bar event space, and it was called it was like Ryan's Public House. So it wasn't necessarily just a bar, just a whatevs, but it was like 2 stories with a backyard literally, and it was so vintagey, kitschy. It was like different couches for the lounge space, but everywhere, and like really odd, like tacky enough that it's gorgeous things. And then they had upstairs that had like plywood benches, but with like mismatched like old lawn furniture, like padding, like all around the room, and it was like really intimately lit with great lighting. Personally, it's like wicked filter out there, but it was like there's just different colored, dark, moody lighting with like cutouts where you can look over it, like to the lounge, because there's a stage. They would have live music there. They have like projection things. You could watch a game, like if there, and then the backyard was like my favorite. So you walk out and they had like a deck, but then they took an old camper, cut like the front of it off, and had it as an outdoor room, but they kept it like the decor intact, like the integrity of the decor of of what it should be in this old 70s camper that they made into a deck space. So had like really awesome,
so you just hang out in the camper,
old Afghans, like, and it was staged, like they had a fixed old ashtray with epoxy cigarettes in there. Like they went so above and beyond for the ambiance and the feel that they were going for. It was like my favorite. I walked out and I was like, this is my favorite bar ever. Like it was everything about it was super, super cool. I say that because they closed. Like they did this whole announcement and I was horrified. But then we went back to Tonganoxie not too long ago and we're like, it's like operable. Like are they renting it?
Different owners?
Or are they just keeping it for the family? Because part of me is like, I want, that. It was so cool. I would rent it for something if I just get to be in it again. But now we're going on talk. Let's go back to Omaha.
Okay.
What are there any things like during like the next 2 weeks for the holidays that you are aiming to do or wanting to do?
We are going to go to the Durham Museum.
Yeah.
There's an exhibit that's closing at the end of the year, a temporary exhibit on dragons.
Oh,
that's
yes.
like what the kids are really into. And so this whole time that it's been open, we haven't gone to see it.
Oh.
And so I finally thought ahead and booked a library pass. You know how they have the free passes pretty much to go to all these attractions. So we got that, and we'll go see the dragons.
Dig.
And gonna go see Wicked finally. And
I want to kind of do a drive, like in the car night, where maybe we pick up food and drive around to the different neighborhoods to check out the lights.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of want to do it during the week because then it won't be so busy, because like we used to go to Linden and and that was like
backed up.
It's like Halloween, like you're just going so slow. It is so backed up, but there's so many different pockets of cool places that have lights. Like downtown, like Papillion is beautiful. I love driving.
Pictures of that.
Oh my gosh, I love driving, like going home down 84th, and when it's dark out, because like it's literally you kind of, there's Target and then Home Depot, and you're getting ready to go in like into Main Street, and then it's like that's so lit up. Yeah, it's super cool. I love it so much. But yeah, there's like little pockets of cool lights everywhere. I did hear that there's a couple of those places that have them programmed. Have you seen them where they're like tune into AM whatevs, and then it plays the light show to the music? Yes. That's fun. I mean, I think it's fun, but I think kids would enjoy it a lot more too. It's cool to see. Yeah. That's it. I mean, I was in the old market last week, and I mean, honestly, if I just took a few more walks down there with the lights up, when the lights are up, I would be good. Like,
it's my favorite time of year.
Yeah, it's so pretty. They should just keep those. I'm just gonna keep saying it. They should just keep those lights up all year. Like, it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
it's so twinkly and lovely. Even when Jean Leahy Mall was the old Jean Leahy Mall, that was one of my favorite things, was because they would light up all of those trees that were down there, and it was like it became a totally different space. Like it's one of my favorite things.
I remember like going to like concerts at the Holland Center and walking across that bridge.
Yeah,
and there'd still be twinkle lights.
Yeah, The bridge. The old Jean Leahy Bridge.
Like rickety bridge.
Oh my gosh. And again, I'm going off topic, but so for years I did the makeup for the productions for the Creighton men's basketball team every year. And so for the promo stuff, for their, for the media guides, for the posters, for the commercials, and apparently some of the videos that they would show on the big screen, like during the games, I was in some of them. Like they took some footage of me doing people's makeup and stuff. I had no idea. I should maybe reach out to them and see if I can get some of the footage. Anyways, off topic. One of the shoots we did, the concept was do this like at night moody thing on bridges.
Okay.
And we did one at the Jean Leahy Mall, and it was scary. We did it in the middle of the night, or super early. It was because we had to make it so there's nobody around, and it got a little creepy. I was like, whoa, I'd never been down there.
Yeah.
And we were keeping it super dark underneath them, and so we lit them all up on the bridge, and I was like, oh, this is this is a little unnerving. It just felt very. Anyways, I forgot about that bridge until you said something. Yeah. Again, side note. See, this is our wrap up of Dee's kind of really all over the place today. But talking about our networking and being 1 degree of separation and whatnot. Yeah. So I get a message on Messenger the other day when I was in Charleston, and it's my old friend that we used to serve at Jimmy D's together. So go way back. We opened up the restaurant, whatever. She's like, "Hey Dee, I live in your old apartment." I go, and some of your mail is showing up here. I think the post office stopped forwarding my mail, and so she was starting to get some of my mail. She's like, "Wait, what?" She goes, "Is this Dee?" She literally, and she took pictures of everything. I was like, "Wait a minute. You live in my old, my old unit?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "This is the weirdest thing ever. How weird is that?" So an old friend of mine, I hadn't talked to her in forever, and she ends up moving into my old loft, and then lo and behold, gets my mail that stopped.
And I have to go down and visit, kind of.
I mean,
stare longingly.
That is a very strange coincidence, though. She's like, "Wait, I know who this is." That's strange.
That works out.
Yeah. I'm working New Year's Eve down in the Capital District.
Oh, cool.
It's always fun.
Kind of a crazy time.
Yes, it is really crazy time. Because during New Year's we have the line goes out the door and around and back again. It is.
Oh wow.
What are you doing for New Year's?
We haven't really made plans yet.
You want to come to the Capital District and
nope.
No, I would be streaming fish.
I'm comfortable now of just PJs.
Yeah.
Midnight. And we'll see. Maybe we'll have friends over, but
yeah. You gonna stream the fish show at MSG? I don't know. I'm just kidding.
I was thinking about how maybe this will be the year that we do a New Year's Eve party, because I remember when my parents had one, and I was about the age that the kids are now. Mm-hmm. And my brothers were 10 years older, so their friends were all 21 and older.
Yeah.
And my parents' friends were over, and then we got to have some friends over. And so we were just being kids, and we had the sparkling apple cider, and we're we're drinking bubbly and getting all excited, and just staying up till past midnight, till 1 or whatever. And the adults are being stupid, and the 20-somethings are being stupider, and.
So are you going to have it?
I don't know. I hadn't really mentioned it to Kevin yet.
So now you're I think we might be having a New Year's party.
Yeah, come over. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
In my head, that sounds fun, but then if I want to go to bed, if I'm all right, I want to be in my PJs now. Everyone leave.
Maybe you have a PJ party. Have everyone show up in their pajamas.
I like that.
So you're already
comfortable.
And honestly, let's I would do that.
Yeah.
I know, honestly, they have so many pajama days in elementary school. I'm why don't we do that?
Yeah. Every day in middle school is pajama day.
That's what I could do with all of my matching pajamas.
There you go. So we do have, I take it back that we do have one set of sort of matching pajamas when we went to New Orleans last year. So the family tradition,
last year? Yeah.
We went to New Orleans last year, but actually I got the pajamas for St. Louis, which was over Thanksgiving break. And the plan was, because we did the they have the Polar Express train.
Yes, they do.
And the kids are older, but I'm like, we're still doing it. And so I got the pajamas. So it was matching pants, and the T-shirts were all like different things that says like. So Kevin's was, I don't do matching T-shirts, and mine's like, but I do.
Oh, it's hilarious.
And then my son's like, great. I'm with Dad, and the other one's like, I forget what Charlotte's was, but
Running with the Wolves, something.
right, like just goes with her personality. So we wore that on the train. So we have semi-matching.
Maybe we should have come in matching pajamas today.
Oh gosh,
we didn't think ahead. I probably have.
All for 2025, just matching pajamas.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a pajama day. Every last episode in a month, we should have pajama. No, I mean, gosh. I mean, we could. That's a new thing that we're going to introduce.
Stay tuned.
So what is thinking like ahead?
Yeah.
What are some things that you want to incorporate in the podcast as we move forward?
Oh, boy. I know, like in the past, we've talked about doing some maybe reels ahead of time, or not ahead of time, but like incorporating past places mentioned by guests. Maybe we do more of that. I think we might try to do another live show.
Yeah. Well, you know, I like
fun. That was a good conversation.
Fun. It was fun, and I think that now that we got one under our belt and we know what to expect, maybe it'll be. And with warmer weather, I think the weather kind of really hurt in that regard, but it was really fun. And I liked the Bloody Mary Fest. I like that kind of being on set or on site of something somewhere else, whatevs. Yeah, maybe, maybe we do an episode at like during like apple picking in Nebraska City, I'm trying to think of, or maybe we do an episode from like the Luminarium or something like that, like thinking
that would be fun.
Yeah. And so we can have like multiple guests, like 15-minute conversations.
You know what one guest I'm hoping to have in 2025?
Oh, okay. So we'll plug, who?
Yeah. So you've got a friend that works at the zoo. I know he can't bring the actual animals in, but
okay. So yes, maybe I should talk about this because like said friend, there's some experiences that were given as gifts last year that like I have not been able to coordinate, and it's like heavy. So like maybe I can use that as another bargaining chip to make sure. But yes, the zoo for sure. Yeah. That's
because we don't. Not that he'll bring an animal in, but like the one time that we did have an animal on the episode, that was fun.
It was fun. So yeah, part of me is thinking maybe we do more or live situations. Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, yeah, I think it would be great. Somebody can teach us how to do handstands on set, and I can teach how to do makeup on set.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's who else? There's other people. When we brainstormed, when we first started thinking about people that we wanted to have on here, who was another? There's like others that I was like, oh, we should totally see if we can get them to talk.
Yeah, some cool people.
Yeah. I mean, we all know cool people. Yeah. But, I loved, I like the idea of getting to know the people who make decisions in our community a little bit more, and not so much talk about policies or even what they do for a living, but just to get to know those people, because it's like, I did have this moment of when there's all of the political messaging, I'm just like, where's the PR person who's like, but they're great. They, swim with sharks and bungee jump, right. That stuff. I don't, at some point where I just want to know that somebody who's making a decision for me is,
does normal people stuff too.
Normal people stuff or not normal, like just totally off the wall,
like the weird hobbies.
Yeah, like then you're like, okay, then maybe it just adds a different element of like relating to them, and it's we don't get to relate to the people who make decisions for us very often, right? And so I don't know. I had that thought.
That's a good idea.
Like oh my gosh, I'm rambling so much, but there's a docuseries. I love documentaries and I love true crime. But there's the homicide Los Angeles and Homicide in New York. It's on Netflix.
Oh boy,
it's so great. It's not just about the crime. It talks about like the process. So the people talking in it are like the different levels of police, like of the police force. So like there's like the detective, and then there's the crime scene investigator, then there's like the chief medical examiner, and then you talk to the people who are like work within their team, and then the DA and the assistant. Like you get to learn more of the whole story of it, and not just about the crime. Yeah. Anyways, I digress. In New York, one of the detectives, and he's like this big time detective. He's like apparently 6'5", has a voice, and I was like, his voice sounds like the way that voices sound when they're trying to mask the real voice. And it's deep and like really kind of smooth and soothing. Like it was, but amazing. But he's this big guy with like big mustache, and he always wears a Dead pin. Like he's a massive Grateful Dead fan. During the documentary, he's like, I've been to over 600 shows. And he's like, the thing about the Dead community, like the Deadhead community, is that it allows me to not be judgmental. Like there's something about like an environment where everyone's so open that like when you go back to your regular job, and he's like, and my job is this.
Right.
He's a lead homicide detective in New York City. He's like, it allows me to have a better perspective, like an open perspective, to see, the bigger picture, rather than like, I got to catch the person who did it. I want to see the big picture and then lead me to catch the, kind of thing.
Interesting.
Anyways, that's the kind of thing. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, and I might be confusing everybody, but I want to know those little things because it just allows you to relate and feel represented. I don't know. These things, people make decisions for us. Who are they? Like, not just their names and not what their political whatever is. Like, who are they? Do they go to small shows at the waiting room and slow down? Have I seen them? That kind of stuff. I think those are the things that, anyways, going off topic. It's just, I think, to help quell the energy in that political space.
Like tribalism, where it's like, oh, we do connect on this sort of space. Like, or we have this
let's get back to people. Like, cool, whatever you're doing, you're whatever. But, like, if I see you at a show, can we go talk? Like, that kind of thing. I think I want to do something along those lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's it.
All right.
Do you have a resolution? I'm like, what time is it?
I don't really do resolutions. Like, I don't, like, I guess.
Yeah. I don't
do resolutions?
Not really. Not in the sense of, like, I'm going to complete, like, maybe, I had a resolution to run marathons before I turned a certain age, right?
Yeah.
So that was, but I think as far as, like, a New Year's resolution, just keep trying, I think, is.
Yeah. Like, for me, and it's been kind of an ongoing resolution, but like when we joined the gym this year, part of the idea was that this coming summer we're going on this Alaskan cruise.
Oh, that's right.
And I want to be able to enjoy a lot of the outdoor activities. And like usually I sign us up for these activities and we're like beat or like exhausting and it's not fun because you're like, the idea of like kayaking sounds awesome. Kayaking in Alaska, but I bet if you're not ready for it, you're going to be
wiped.
Like we just think we're more in shape than we are, and so I want us to be in the best shape that we can be when we go there. And so, so we were only doing like 3 days a week at the gym, and now like this past week we're like, all right, we're gonna go 4 days a week.
Awesome.
The goal is to like get to 5 days.
Yeah.
And so maybe in 2025 we'll hit 5 days and
stay there,
or
go 6.
And then, no, let's not go crazy. Although the Saturdays are starting to be kind of fun there where it's like bring a friend or bring the kids. And so we could bring the kids on Saturdays and make it, it's not as hard of a workout then.
Yeah.
But like by June, we're going to, I'm not expecting us to be like uber fit and like.
That's uber fit.
Walking around in our bikini, but like. But just being able
Kevin's
to, like,
gonna wear a bikini.
We're going to do this. Yes, Kevin. It's his Speedo.
Yeah.
But I want us, like, if we want to hike, then we can hike. And it'll be fun.
That's awesome.
So
that's a great resolution.
Yeah.
That's like, and it's
so that's
like,
kind of, it's just, so it's kind of just keeping 2024 momentum and
love that.
Going to 2025.
Yeah. I guess my resolution, that I mean, again, I say keep trying because I've been working on it. It's more of a, I'm really understanding now the idea of, like when they tell you to put your mask on first on the plane before you can, I'm really trying to invest more and own it. The whole premise of taking care of yourself so that you can take care of others, which goes along with, like, we think that certain things like pulling away from or non-burdening people is selfless when it's really selfish, because like allowing people to help you is a gift. And even though it's hard, and I'm sure a lot of people feel this way, but it's hard to accept help or ask for help or ask for anything, honestly, or demand your worth, demand all of these things. And we have all these intrusive conversations that are not, people would really like to have the conversations we're having with them in our heads, right? Like it's more of a, we all kind of operate the same way, and not asking is the burden, because now it's making it harder because the people who want to help you are helpless because you're not allowing them to help. And so now you're burdening them because now you're making whatever, that kind of thing. I'm working on the totality of wellness, and not just, I've done a lot of work on the physical aspect of it. And I think I've actually done a good job. I was a little obsessive in my physical workouts throughout my life. And the past few years, I've just tried to listen to my body, I guess, instead of push it to a certain, like, I would just keep training like I was still in competitive sports and just train hard, right? And that's not good for a body that's not utilizing that kind of training every day. And so I'm trying to slow. This is not a really good indication. This episode is not a good indication of me trying to slow my roll, but that's my smart resolution. Yeah. So good deal. We'll see. Yeah. Yay. This is awesome, though.
Oh yeah, So I probably won't see you until 2025 then.
No, really?
Maybe, I think so.
No, you're in town. I'm going to do makeup. Well,
that's right.
Yeah, it's fine. That seems really weird to me.
Yeah, to do makeup too.
Even saying that sounds weird. I know it's only 2 weeks, but still, I'm like, what? It's just no. 2025. It's nuts. One of these episodes we should do some karaoke.
Oh my god. That's what we're going to do. Oh, that's another thing we have planned over the break. We'll be going to Smash Park. I'm partnering with them, and they have a karaoke suite. So
we want to check it out.
Maybe you can come with us.
Yeah, we've talked about it because we go, it's right there, right by when we turn to go to the movies and stuff. But, okay, so then should we ask each other the question? Like, I've never answered this question.
I don't know. Sure. Dee, where do you find inspiration in Omaha? I'll make you go first.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Where do I find inspiration in Omaha? I guess walking outside, whether it's in Papillion or Old Market, always, even parts of 120th and Pacific area, right? Like it's the rhythm and taking in my surroundings. And I love the city. Like, I love Omaha so much. And the unobstructed sky that we are so lucky to have. Honestly, like, I do love big cities, and I love walking in the concrete jungles sometimes. It just has a different energy, vibration. But something about Omaha, it has little pockets of everything. It has a little town feel around the corner from the concrete jungle feel to the, bohemian kind of, Soho situation of finding your people in really eclectic spaces to really commercialized, marketed, beautifully architectured areas. I love walking. I don't care what the temperature is. I will put on as many layers as I have to, but that's where I find inspiration, is going out and walking around the city.
For me, I do love the old market and walking around. But for me, I think the most inspiring experiences are going to like either like local theater or local concerts where it's like these people live among us and they're doing this amazing creative thing that they just created from the ground up. So it's like not just like the amazing actors on stage, but then like people who created these gorgeous costumes or like painted these sets. And it's just like out of nothing. Yeah. Omahans made this and just kind of entertained us or made us think. Yeah. And it's like, I love a lot of talented people. And I'm like, well, if they can do it, like, they're just everyday people. Yeah. Because a lot of it's like, even like community theater, they might just be doing it voluntarily. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
And I'm like, wow, that's people could do that. And it's not just like these amazing celebrities who are uber produced, but just...
And choose to be. It's like that.
Yeah, like they choose to add that to their life. Like, so like when I was working at the Children's Museum and some of the people on staff would be in theater on their downtime. So it's like they work a full day job and then go and do theater and like express themselves still creatively that way. And it's just like, okay,
you do that.
I still do that. So
you do that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's neat to see people doing, and even if that's not their full-time job, it's something that they love, and they're just doing it because they love it. Yeah. And they do it well.
Yes.
So it's neat to see.
Absolutely.
Like, all right, we can all be creative in our own space.
Yes. I love that. That's a great answer. Thank you. You're welcome. I love that so much. Well, that's happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yeah. I can't believe we're here. But
Enjoy the waning days of 2024, and let's hope 2025 is
amazing.
A better year.
Yeah. Amazing. All right. Cool. I'll see you soon. Thanks for listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast. We want to thank our guest, Hurrdat Media, all of you for your support, and the Omaha community at large.
So from D&I, keep on exploring.